Hello, everybody, and a good day to you all. Today, I'm talking about Limitless, season number one, episode 22. This is the last episode of the season. This is the season finale. The finale part two. In this episode here, we have Brian, who's still taking NZT, even though his immunity shot has worn off now, and now he's starting to feel the effects. But he's powering through this to help try to help pretty much stop Sands and to rescue Piper. Because that's all he wants to do. He wants to rescue Piper, the woman that he loves. He wants to save her from Sands, get the enzyme to fix himself, and save the day. That's what he wants to do. So he's willing to sacrifice his life and his health to help Rebecca and help the rest of the FBI crew stop Sands and the rest of the Legion of Whom from pretty much taking over the world. And that was pretty much the episode was about. Now this is like always. J- Jake Jake McDormand's performance is always amazing. He's always fun to watch. He's very charming and very lighthearted. Because even though he's on NZT, he's different than everybody who's on NZT. Because everybody who's on NZT seems to be a lot more cold and a lot more distant. And even Rebecca at one point was on NZT, and she almost seemed like a robot in a way. She's like very, very focused on the mission, didn't really care about nothing else. Even the pain she was going through, she's like blocked it out. She was like almost like a robot in a way. But when Brian's on NZT, even though he is smarter, he's still himself. He's still Brian to his core. He still cracks jokes. He's still silly. He's still goofy. And he's still charming. He's still lighthearted. He still wants to bring laughter and joy to everybody, even when he's on NZT. And that makes him different and special throughout this whole picture. Even though he wasn't immune like everybody else, he goes through the same withdrawal like everybody else. He was taking a shot, but his attitude and his mindset was still himself. He was still Brian. Now, because there was one moment in this series that he tried to be colder and darker, but it just was not for him. He just couldn't do it. And this episode right here, even though he was getting sick and he was starting to see hallucinations, he was still fun to watch in a way. And that's what made Jake McDormand's performance on this show so great. And Rebe- Rebecca Harris, played by Jennifer Carpenter, always does an amazing job, and she plays pretty much like almost in a way like a straight man to Brian. While he's being goofy and silly, she's pretty much keeping things grounded, and sometimes she could be a little bit silly too at times, which is also kind of fun. We see her show a little bit of the humor, a little bit of humor too as well. She's not a complete robot, but that's always pretty fun. And I'm enjoying now, Ron Rifkin's performance in this episode, I really didn't enjoy as Dennis Finch's Brian's dad. Now, sometimes throughout the season, he at one point he started to be a little bit annoying to me. The way he was going after the FBI, the way he was starting to use his lawyer stuff to get involved and to try to force something that he had nothing about. But I enjoy because there was a moment with him and Brian. He was really sick and after taking all this NZT without the enzyme wearing off. He was talking to his father, and he's having like touchy moment because he never thought he didn't think he was going to come back. And the way they interacted with one another, even though they didn't really say a lot, it was very moving and very moving to watch. And I really did enjoy their performances on the show. Now Hill Harper as Spellman Boyle. Now Spellman does not really he's not really do a lot on the show really too much. I mean he's on the show, but he doesn't really have a lot to contribute to the show sometimes, which I think is like a weakness to the character. Even though he is interesting to a point, but they don't really dig too much with him and too much about him too much. So because sometimes he's not on the show pretty much at all, really. And this sometimes he's there, but his performances aren't bad when they show him. They just don't show enough of him, which I think is a herpes to the like a hindrance to the show in a way because sometimes it seems like why is he there? Like what does he bring to the table that they really do need? Sometimes because even when he's there, I do enjoy it, but it doesn't seem like he contributes much to the show to make it better or worse. Because if he wasn't on the show at all, he just left one day, he just never came back, you wouldn't really notice. You really wouldn't, because it's pretty much between Rebecca and Brian and their chemistry on the show that pretty much brings the show along. Even Nas, who is like the head commander on the show, they barely show her too. She doesn't really bring a lot to the table as well, either. Matter of fact, you get more from the characters who play Mike and Ike. You get more from them than you get from Nas and Spellman. Which I think is like a weakness to the show, because you should see the boss. You should see her. And Spellman is Rebecca's partner, I think, sort of. Yeah, but he's barely there, really. I mean, there was one episode when they had Spellman and Brian working together, and I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that a whole lot. Watching their chemistry, how they worked off one another. Because Spellman's more about the book, and he tries play it straight, and he wants to have a successful career in the FBI and move up in rank and stuff like that. So he's a little bit more about the book, while Rebecca can be a little bit more flexible because she knows how Brian is, and she's been working on him so much. So because at first she was more like Spellman, but being around Brian so much, she's got a little more loose and a little more lax with the rules, which was fun to watch her change and adapt to a different situation. So overall, I really did enjoy this whole episode a whole lot, and this is a spoiler right here. Brian now has has an enzyme now that allows him to be that doesn't wear off. This time, yeah, he's permanently immune to NZT. He no more taking the shot no more. He's free of that. So now he took the shot one time because Piper gave it to him, and now he can take NZT anytime he wants to with no side effects. Now, I'd like to see where that's going to go. Hopefully, it'll come back next season. Fingers crossed for that. Because if it does, you get to see how he's going to be now that he doesn't worry about the shots anymore, and now that he is totally free. Because Sands, this is a spoiler right here, he died. Sands died. Yay! And even though Senator Morris stood out there, and he still had the NZT, what his plans and agenda is, I don't know. And will he still try to come in contact with Brian now? Beats me. Because now Brian's totally immune. And he still had to take the shots. So, now that Brian's the upper hand, what is he going to do? What he's going to do? I don't know. Now, just like every episode of Limitless, there's always humor to the show. Sometimes it can be really silly, sometimes it can be really subtle. But when they got to the end, and when you're seeing like everybody can be part of his team now, I enjoy that a whole lot. Now there was a character on this show played by Lori Ann Israel. Let me see how to say her name. Israelova. Thank you. Larry Ann Israelova, and she plays Andrea. And Andrea is the girl who just knows things. How she knows things, where she figures this stuff out from, I don't know. But she was back on the show doing the final part of the episode, and I did enjoy that a whole lot. She didn't say a lot, but I enjoyed her performance last time she was on the show. And if she's gonna be part of the team, I'm gonna love this show even more. Because this show can be all over the place. It can be very dramatic at times. It can be very goofy and wacky at times. It can be kind of like pure like sci-fi, out of this world crazy at times. But it's always fun. It's always fun to watch, and I really do enjoy that a whole lot. I enjoyed this episode right here. I enjoyed this whole season. Hopefully it comes back for a next season. And if it does, I'm going to be watching that too and talking about that too. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode of Limitless and what you thought about this whole season altogether. Did you enjoy it or did you not? Leave your comments down below. Well, that's all I got to say about that. So give my channel a big like and thumbs up. Boom. And subscribe to my channel and share. I really would appreciate it. Like I always say, in my dreams and in real life, I am the Ninja Rabbit. A peace out, peoples.